Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a pop star who, well, pretty much in the blink of an eye, bursts onto the global scene with an anthem so iconic it becomes, etched into the cultural landscape of the 80s.
Right, instantly recognizable.
Totally. Then, perhaps surprisingly, at what many saw as a career peak, she embarks on this truly unexpected pivot, embracing an entirely new passion, and with award-winning dedication, no less.
A real left turn.
Only to reemerge in music years later, not just with renewed vigor, but with this unique creative lens, inspiring everything from, thrash metal bands to groundbreaking graphic novels.
It's an extraordinary story, isn't it? A case study in personal and professional evolution.
Exactly.
What truly resonates here, I think, is how one individual's career path just defies easy categorization. It weaves together these seemingly disparate interests into a genuinely unique tapestry.
It really does.
So our mission for you, our listener, is really to extract the surprising nuggets of knowledge and insight from this rich, adaptable life. We want to offer you a shortcut to being truly well-informed about a figure who, well, consistently redefines success on her own terms.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So get ready for a deep dive into a life that doesn't just prove reinvention is possible, but that embracing every facet of your curiosity can lead to an incredibly rewarding and endlessly surprising journey. We'll explore the chart-topping highs, those unexpected detours, and the enduring, sometimes even subterranean influence of a true cultural chameleon.
Sounds fascinating.
So let's begin where every great story does, right at the very start. Before the iconic videos and the chart-topping hits that really defined a generation, who was Kim Wilde and what were the formative experiences that shaped her early life and, her artistic sensibilities?
Well, her foundation was profoundly rooted in music. It's almost like she was destined for it, really. Born Kim Smith in Chiswick, West London, she entered a world already kind of pulsating with rhythm and melody. She was the eldest child of Marty Wilde, a bona fide 1950s rock and roller. His birth name was Reginald Smith, and his enduring presence in the music scene provided this constant, living example of a career in entertainment.
Wow, Marty Wilde,
Yeah.
a legend in his own right.
Absolutely. And her mother, Joyce Baker, was also deeply embedded in the entertainment world. She was a member of the vibrant singing and dancing groups, the Vernon's Girls.
Oh, the Vernon's Girls. Okay.
Yeah. So this wasn't just a home. It was like a living, breathing performance space, a backstage pass to the realities and triumphs of the music industry from day one.
That's been quite an upbringing.
Oh, definitely. Growing up, Kim witnessed firsthand the dedication, the travel, the creative process, the sheer grit required to sustain a career in entertainment. So this environment undoubtedly provided a truly unique upbringing, steeped in the very essence of show business. It offered her this unparalleled foundation, almost a strategic blueprint, you could say, for navigating the famously fickle nature of the industry herself.
That's incredible. Music wasn't just in her DNA. It was like the very air she breathed. It's clear that the apple didn't fall far from the tree, and in fact, it blossomed into its own unique sound. Interestingly, though, her path wasn't solely focused on music right from the outset. We see her attending Oakfield Preparatory School, that's a foundational period in southeast London, before the family moved to Hertfordshire. There she continued her education at Tuin and later Presdale School,
Yeah.
sort of expanding her horizons beyond the immediate London buzz.
Right, getting a broader education.
Yeah, and she didn't just jump straight into recording. She even completed a foundation course at St. Albans College of Art and Design at age 20. That suggests a broader creative curiosity, doesn't it? Perhaps an eye for visual aesthetics that would later translate into her distinctive music videos.
That makes sense. The visual element was always strong.
But despite these diverse educational experiences, it was ultimately music that called her name, and quite insistently, it seems. She was famously signed to R.A. Records by the legendary Mickey Most.
Ah, Mickey Most. A man with an undeniable ear for pop gold knew how to spot talent.
Definitely. And her professional singing career actually began even earlier, not really in the spotlight, but more behind the scenes. She provided backup vocals for her brother Ricky's 1972 song, I Am an Astronaut.
Right, I remember that connection.
So that wasn't just a background role. It was probably an invaluable masterclass in the practicalities of the music business, absorbed right there within her own home.
Absolutely. Which leads us to consider how profoundly her family influenced her early artistic direction, not just as, a foundational environment, but in the actual crafting of her distinctive sound.
Okay.
And it turns out, quite significantly, her father, Marty, and brother Ricky weren't just supportive figures, they were instrumental. They were responsible for writing virtually all her material throughout those crucial early to mid 1980s.
Wow, virtually all of it.
Pretty much. And their songwriting influences spanned this remarkably wide and eclectic spectrum, which is truly fascinating when you consider her polished, accessible pop output.
Okay, so what kind of influences are we talking?
Well, on one hand, you had the cool synthesized precision of synth pop acts like orchestral maneuvers and the dark OMD,
OMD, yeah, love them.
and the atmospheric sounds of Ultravox and the electronic pioneering of Kraftwerk, whose meticulous soundscapes were just groundbreaking.
Right, the German pioneers.
Exactly. But then juxtaposed against that were the raw, rebellious, and urgent sounds of punk and new wave bands. Think Skids, the incendiary Sex Pistols,
Whoa, okay.
the politically charged Clash, and the enigmatic Stranglers.
That is an incredible mix, synth pop and punk.
It is. This extraordinary blend of electronic sophistication and raw, punk-infused energy wasn't just a casual mix, it was a deliberate fusion. And that contributed directly to her distinctive, sharp, and utterly memorable sound, setting her apart from many of her contemporaries. It shows a really thoughtful, almost academic approach to crafting popular music that transcended fleeting trends.
That blend of influences is incredibly telling. It totally explains that inherent edge and innovation in her early work that really helped her stand out in what was a very crowded field back then.
Definitely.
And then came the breakthrough, the song that would define an era for so many. Kids in America, released in January 1981.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a hit, it was an instant phenomenon. It immediately captivated audiences with its infectious energy.
Oh, it was huge. You couldn't escape it.
In the UK, it soared to #2 on the singles chart, which is a phenomenal debut for a new artist. But its reach was truly global, wasn't it? Scaling the top 5 in major European markets like Germany and France, and even making a significant impact down under in Australia.
Massive across Europe.
While it only peaked at a respectable, but perhaps surprisingly modest, #25 in the US when it was released there in '82.
Yeah, a bit slower uptake stateside initially.
Its enduring legacy is undeniable. Today, despite that initial chart position in America, it's widely considered her signature song. Instantly recognizable. A true anthem of the early '80s.
And it's precisely that point that's so compelling, isn't it? How a song can transcend its initial chart performance to become this lasting cultural touchstone. It just etches itself into the collective memory far beyond its moment of commercial peak.
Absolutely.
Kids in America is a perfect example. It wasn't just a catchy tune. It captured the specific generational angst and aspiration, amplified by a nascent MTV culture that visually reinforced its rebellious yet somehow polished aesthetic.
Yeah, the video was key too.
Totally. Its blend of edgy, synth-pop, and punk sensibility gave it an authenticity that allowed it to outlast many higher-charting contemporaries. It became a genuine artifact of its era. Following this explosive debut, her self-titled album, Kim Wilde, 1981, also found significant commercial success, proving she was far from a one-hit wonder.
Right, she backed it up.
Exactly. This album proved to be an incredibly consistent chart performer. It yielded further successful singles like Checkered Love, which followed its predecessor right into the top 5 in the UK, France, Australia, and Germany, demonstrating that consistent international appeal. And then there was Water on Glass, a track that, while released primarily as a UK-only single, still reached an impressive number 11 in her home country.
Still a solid hit.
Definitely. So this rapid-fire succession of hits really solidified her early pop star status, establishing her as a prominent voice in the burgeoning new wave and synth-pop scenes of the early 80s.
Her momentum just kept going with her sophomore effort, 1982's Select. That was an album that skillfully built on the foundation of her debut.
Yeah, she didn't rest on her laurels.
This record featured even more compelling singles that became international hits, specifically Cambodia and View from a Bridge.
Both great tracks, very atmospheric.
And both of these tracks soared to #1 in France, which showcases her particularly strong and consistent appeal in that market, and also achieved top 10 successes in Germany and Australia. She was truly a formidable global pop force, seemingly at the height of her powers.
She really was, conquering charts everywhere.
However, despite this undeniable studio success and growing international fame, there was this notable discussion at the time, maybe even a bit of head-scratching, about her marked reluctance to perform live concerts.
Ah, yes, that was a thing, wasn't it?
It wasn't standard practice for artists to shy away from touring, especially those with her level of record sales. It left many fans and industry observers wondering why she wasn't bringing her vibrant sound to the live stage.
Well, this raises a crucial point about the unique pressures on new artists, particularly female pop stars in that era. The industry often demands relentless touring to capitalize on record sales, but for some, that transition from studio to stage can be a daunting, maybe even overwhelming experience.
I can imagine. Very different environments.
Totally. Her first concerts only took place in Denmark in September 1982. That's nearly 2 years after her electrifying debut single, which is quite a delay for a burgeoning pop icon.
Wow, yeah, that is a long time.
This was then followed by a more extensive UK-wide tour in October, finally allowing her home audience to experience her live performances. So it clearly took a while to translate that initial electrifying studio success into a compelling and comfortable live presence.
Understandable, I suppose.
Then her third album, Catchy, 1983, saw a relative commercial dip. The first single from this album, Love Blonde, did perform well in France and Scandinavia, proving her continued popularity in those specific regions, but it notably struggled to achieve major success elsewhere.
Okay, so a bit of a wobble.
A bit of one, yeah. This dip in broader commercial performance, particularly in the UK, ultimately led to a significant change. Her departure from RH Records and a pivotal move to MCA Records in the summer of 1984.
The label change.
Exactly. This transition wasn't just a label change. It marked a crucial moment of reevaluation and a new chapter in her career. It kind of forced her to consider how to evolve beyond that initial sound.
So after that commercial recalibration, she moves to MCA, a major label jump that often signals a fresh start. Her first album with them, Teases and Dares, released in 1984, certainly had a different journey.
It did, yeah.
It was largely overlooked in her home country, the UK, which must have been a bit of a disappointment after her earlier successes there.
Definitely a setback in the UK market.
However, it found a much better reception and resonance in Germany, France, and Scandinavia, which by this point had become pretty reliable, loyal markets for her.
Yes, she always maintained a strong footing there.
The second time, one of the singles from this album became a German top 10 hit, showcasing her continued strength there, and in a surprising detail that truly captures the mid-80s pop culture zeitgeist.
Why?
Its video even appeared in an episode of the iconic 1980s TV hit Knight Rider in 1985.
No way. Knight Rider. That's amazing.
Right. That's a fascinating example of cross-media pollination, highlighting just how widely recognized she was becoming, even if her album wasn't smashing charts universally.
It's intriguing how artists often find different levels of success in various international markets, isn't it? A testament to the diverse tastes across regions. And as you said, that unexpected pop culture cross-pollination, like a music video appearing unexpectedly in a hugely popular TV show like Knight Rider, could significantly expand an artist's reach to new audiences, almost by serendipity.
Absolutely.
Beyond the charts, Teases and Dares marked a crucial artistic development as well. Wilde started making her first songwriting contributions, penning 2 songs herself.
Okay. Taking more control.
Exactly. This wasn't just a minor detail. It signified a growing artistic control and evolution, moving beyond being solely an interpreter of her family's compositions to actively shaping her own creative output.
That's a big step.
It is. And concurrently, she also embarked on 3 distinct European concert tours between 1983 and 1986. This wasn't just touring. It indicated a significant shift towards embracing and developing her live performance skills, addressing that earlier reluctance, and building a stronger, more direct connection with her fan base on stage. So this period, while maybe not always topping the charts, was truly one of quiet but profound artistic growth and self-discovery.
Her fortunes then improved in spectacular fashion, as many observers noted, with her 5th album, Another Step, released in 1986.
Yeah.
It's a classic comeback story that almost didn't happen.
Right, because the first single didn't quite hit.
Exactly. The album's lead single, Schoolgirl, actually didn't land particularly well in Europe or Australia, which might have led some to believe her momentum was stalling again. But then came the album's second single, a high NRG remake of the Supremes' classic You Keep Me Hangin' On.
Ah, the remake.
And that truly changed everything.
Zooming out, this was indeed a game changer. Not just for her career, but it kind of set a precedent for how artists could successfully reimagine classic tracks for a new generation.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
This re-recorded version of You Keep Me Hangin' On wasn't just a hit, it was a global smash. For listeners unfamiliar, high NRG was this high-energy electronic dance music genre driving, pulsating beat, often upbeat, layered synthesizers, perfect for the 80s dance floors, and a powerful vehicle for a pop comeback.
Definitely captured the sound of the time.
By taking a Motown classic and reinterpreting it with this contemporary high NRG edge, she simultaneously paid homage to a legendary song while asserting her relevance in the mid-80s dance scene.
Smart move.
After topping charts in Australia and Canada and hitting #2 in the UK, its ultimate triumph came when it became a US #1 single in 1987.
#1 in the US, that's huge.
Massive. With that incredible achievement, she joined an incredibly elite group, becoming only the 5th UK female solo artist ever to top the US Hot 100, following trailblazers like Petula Clark, Lulu, Sheena Easton, and Bonnie Tyler.
Wow, quite the company.
Indeed. This revitalization of her popularity, especially back in the UK, was profound and led to further top 10 hits in 1987, including the collaborative track Another Step Closer to You with Junior.
I like that one too.
And Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, that festive charity single recorded with the much-loved comedian Mel Smith for comic relief.
Ah, yes, the comic relief single. Classic.
It really demonstrated her astute understanding of evolving pop landscapes and her willingness to innovate within them rather than simply relying on past glories.
Building on that phenomenal success, 1988 saw the release of Close, which truly became her biggest-selling album to date. This wasn't just a success, it was a triumph.
Yeah, Close was massive.
It returned her decisively to the UK top 10 and spent an impressive almost 8 months on the album chart, indicating sustained public interest and deep listener engagement.
8 months is a long time. It shows real staying power.
This album proved to be an incredibly consistent chart performer, yielding 4 major European hits that cemented her global status. Hey, Mr. Heartache, You Came, Never Trust a Stranger, and 4-letter word.
All brilliant singles. You Came, especially.
And the last 3 of those were top 10 hits in the UK, showcasing an incredible run of singles and solidifying her ability to consistently deliver chart-topping material.
This really prompts us to consider the challenge of sustaining such a peak, right? Especially after a monumental album like Close.
Definitely. Where do you go from there?
And the release of Close also coincided with a truly career-defining moment, a major European tour where she had the unparalleled opportunity to be the opening act for Michael Jackson's legendary Bad World Tour.
Opening for Michael Jackson on the Bad Tour?
Wow. Can you imagine this kind of exposure, playing to stadium-sized audiences across the continent every night, would be absolutely transformative for any artist, propelling them to a new echelon of global recognition and a massive influx of new fans.
Incredible opportunity.
However, the music industry is notoriously fickle, isn't it? And maintaining that momentum is incredibly difficult. Her very next album, Love Moves, 1990, barely made the UK top 40, a stark contrast to the widespread success of Close.
Oh, okay. So the momentum didn't quite carry over.
Not in the same way, no. While it was a top 10 success in Scandinavian countries, again highlighting her consistent appeal in those regions, it failed to sell as well as its predecessor and only spawned 2 minor hits, It's Here and Can't Get Enough of Your Love. Despite this relative commercial dip, though, she continued to receive incredible exposure. She toured Europe again as the opening act, this time for the iconic David Bowie.
Bowie too. Michael Jackson and David Bowie. That's quite the support slot resume.
Isn't it? It demonstrates the constant ebb and flow, the peaks and valleys that even artists at the highest levels of the music industry experience. Underscores the relentless pressure to innovate and maintain relevance.
An interesting development followed, marking a subtle shift in her sound. A collaboration with Rick Knowles. He's a producer renowned for his work with powerhouse artists like Stevie Nicks and Belinda Carlisle, often crafting a more organic, guitar-driven pop sound.
Ha! Rick Knowles. Great producer.
This partnership resulted in the single Love Is Holy and the accompanying album Love Is, released in 1992. The single itself proved to be another top 20 hit in the UK, showing she could still connect with her home audience even as her sound evolved slightly.
It's intriguing how strategic collaborations can be vital for artists looking to refresh their sound or find new creative impetus, isn't it?
Definitely. Keeps things fresh.
And in 1993, she also shrewdly leveraged her successful track record by releasing her first official compilation album, the Singles Collection, 1981-1993.
Ah, the greatest hits package. Always a smart move.
A very smart commercial move that found significant success across Europe and Australia, proving the enduring appeal of her hits compiled together. The album also featured a new single, the dance floor-influenced If I Can't Have You.
Wasn't that a cover?
It was a cover of the Yvonne Elliman song from the iconic film Saturday Night Fever, originally penned by the legendary Bee Gees.
Right, from Saturday Night Fever. Good choice.
And this strategic choice paid off handsomely. It became her last UK Top 20 hit for a while and a significant #3 hit in Australia. It truly showcases the enduring power of classic tracks, reimagined for a new era, allowing her to connect with audiences who loved both the original and her contemporary interpretation. A testament to her versatility and commercial acumen.
Following that compilation success, she embarked on a huge greatest hits concert tour through Europe in 1994, bringing her extensive catalog of hits to her loyal fan base.
Giving the fans what they wanted.
She also expanded her touring footprint, visiting Australia and Japan for the first time in 6 years, reconnecting with audiences who hadn't seen her live in quite some time.
Reaching those further markets again.
However, her next studio album, Now and Forever, released in 1995, unfortunately proved to be a commercial failure worldwide, marking a challenging period in her music career amidst a changing musical landscape.
Yeah, the mid-90s were tough for 80s pop acts. Grunge and Britpop were taking over.
Definitely a different vibe. She then released a single, Shame, a cover of Evelyn Champagne King in 1996, attempting to find a new spark, perhaps.
This period really highlights the significant challenges of an artist's longevity in a rapidly changing music landscape, doesn't it?
Yep.
Particularly in the mid-90s, when musical tastes were shifting so dramatically, traditional pop was becoming a harder sell.
Sure.
The commercial struggles of Now and Forever indicated that perhaps the pop formula that had served her so well was evolving. However, from February 1996 to February 1997, she made a truly significant and, frankly, surprising step away from the conventional pop music scene. She appeared in London's West End production of the rock musical, Tommy.
Tommy, the Who's rock opera in the West End.
Exactly. For those unfamiliar, the West End is London's equivalent of Broadway. So this signifies a highly prestigious and demanding theatrical role that required a completely different set of performance skills from stadium pop concerts.
Wow, that's a major shift.
It wasn't just a brief cameo, it was a committed theatrical role that allowed her to explore a new dimension of her artistry. This move, embracing a completely different creative medium, powerfully demonstrates her versatility as a performer and her willingness to explore other artistic avenues beyond recording and touring pop music.
Absolutely. Takes courage.
And ultimately, this brave and unexpected pivot set the stage for her next, truly surprising and remarkable chapter. It proves that sometimes a detour can lead to an entirely new and deeply fulfilling path.
So bringing it all together then, from rock musicals, we take this truly unexpected and quite remarkable turn. Kim Wilde, the pop star, becomes Kim Wilde, the award-winning landscape gardener.
Yeah, how amazing is that?
How did this incredible transformation happen? It seems like such a dramatic shift from stadium tours and theatrical productions to literally, getting your hands dirty with plants and soil. What prompted such a radical change?
Well, this is a beautiful and deeply personal example of finding a new passion, one that often emerges from life's natural rhythms and personal milestones. During her first pregnancy, an old interest in gardening, something perhaps she hadn't had the luxury of time for during her hectic pop career, resurfaced with profound intensity.
So pregnancy sparked it.
It seems so. This wasn't just a casual hobby. It became this deep, compelling motivation. She attended Capel Manor College, a prestigious horticultural institution, specifically to formally learn about horticulture from the ground up.
She actually went back to college for it.
She did. Her motivation was deeply personal and incredibly touching. She wanted to create a beautiful, safe, and nurturing garden for her children, a verdant space for them to grow and play. This highlights how significant life events, like becoming a parent, can dramatically shift one's career trajectory and lead to the discovery of entirely new, deeply fulfilling paths that are completely separate from one's established identity. It suggests maybe a yearning for stability and a more grounded existence after years in the fast lane.
That makes a lot of sense. And her existing celebrity status, which you might think would be a hindrance or a novelty in a completely new, practical field like horticulture, actually opened doors in this new green world.
It seems it did. Her unique position as a famous pop star with a newfound genuine passion for plants immediately caught the eye of media producers. She was asked by Channel 4 to act as a designer for their program Better Gardens,
Okay, I remember that show.
which gave her a high-profile platform to showcase her burgeoning skills and authentic enthusiasm. And just a year later, she committed to 2 full series of the BBC's popular show Garden Invaders,
Garden Invaders. Yeah, that was fun.
further cementing her presence and credibility in the world of horticultural television. It really shows how her previous life as a pop star, far from being a liability, could unexpectedly accelerate her second career and introduce a whole new audience to the joys of gardening.
It's truly compelling how quickly she achieved significant recognition and respect in her new field, moving beyond mere novelty status to genuine horticultural acclaim.
Yeah, she wasn't just playing at it.
Exactly. This wasn't just about her name recognition. It was about her demonstrable talent and dedication. In 2001, just a few years into her new career, along with fellow horticulturist David Fountain, she designed and created the All About Alice Garden for the prestigious Tatton Flower Show.
Tatton Park, right.
This wasn't just a display, it was a meticulously designed thematic space, and it was deservedly awarded the highly coveted Best Show Garden Award.
Wow. Best show garden, that's serious.
A really early, powerful validation of her skills. And then, in 2005, she reached another pinnacle, winning a Gold Award for her courtyard garden at the Royal Horticultural Society's Chelsea Flower Show.
Chelsea. Gold at Chelsea. That is a huge achievement in the gardening world, like winning a major music award.
Absolutely. It demonstrated her serious talent, meticulous planning, and profound dedication to horticulture. She didn't just dabble, she became a respected professional, earning her stripes through hard work and genuine artistic vision in a completely different domain.
She wasn't just designing and presenting on TV either, was she? She was properly getting her hands dirty.
Exactly, demonstrating a real commitment to the physical demands of the craft. She designed and created numerous gardens, not just for the television programs like Better Gardens and Garden Invaders, but also for private clients and other flower shows across the UK.
Right, doing the actual work.
There's even this remarkable detail about her direct, hands-on involvement in setting a world record back in 2001 for the largest tree transplantation.
A world record for moving a tree.
Yep. This was no small feat. An enormous 18-meter London plane tree, weighing a staggering 50 tons, was meticulously moved all the way from Belgium to a development site in Warrington, England.
Good grief, how do you even do that?
An incredible undertaking. Showcased her commitment to large-scale, impactful green projects, requiring incredible logistical coordination and a deep understanding of arboriculture. Though sadly, that magnificent tree was later toppled by the devastating cyclone Kirill in January 2007.
Oh no, that's a shame.
A poignant reminder of nature's unpredictable power, but it doesn't diminish the incredible achievement in moving in the first place.
No, absolutely not. That really demonstrates her profound hands-on commitment and the depth of her engagement with gardening beyond just a public persona. She also channeled her expertise and passion into writing, didn't she? Became an accomplished author in her new field.
She did. 2 books, right?
Yeah, 2 significant books. The first, Gardening with Children, released in 2005, which found international appeal and was translated into several languages, Spanish, French, Danish, Dutch, German, demonstrating a global interest in her approach to nurturing both plants and young minds.
That's lovely.
Her second book, The First Time Gardener, released in 2006, served as this practical, accessible, and highly encouraging beginner's guide to gardening. Which raises an important question, doesn't it? How does translating one's passion and practical expertise into accessible publications expand their influence and reach beyond direct involvement? It allows them to educate and inspire a much broader, truly global audience.
Yeah, it solidifies that expert status.
Totally, not just a celebrity green thumb.
And beyond gardening itself, she also strategically expanded into other media ventures, carefully broadening her established eco-friendly image by taking on advertising jobs for various green companies.
Makes sense. A natural fit.
A very natural and authentic fit for her evolving brand. For 2 years, she was prominently featured in advertisements for Holland & Barrett, the high street health food shop.
Right, aligning with natural living.
She also lent her voice to infomercials for household names like Bold laundry detergent and Timothy shampoo, further spreading her eco-conscious message through mainstream channels, demonstrating that environmental considerations could even extend to everyday household items.
Interesting choices there.
In 2008, she started advertising green kitchens for Magnet, a kitchen retailer, reinforcing her connection to sustainable living and design. In a more recent delightful twist, she even appeared in a Cadbury dark milk chocolate bar campaign in 2019.
Chocolate.
With a commercial cleverly set, of course, in a lush horticultural setting, perfectly tying back to her signature second career in a wonderfully understated way.
Uh-huh. That's brilliant. It truly shows how her personal interests and values seamlessly integrated with her commercial ventures, creating this authentic and consistent public image that resonated with consumers. But her influence wasn't limited to television and endorsements. She also built a remarkably successful radio career, showcasing her engaging personality and deep musical knowledge, proving her versatility as a media personality.
Right, the magic show.
She presented Secret Songs on Magic 105.4 every Sunday, a show that later evolved into The Request Show, allowing her to connect directly with listeners through the music they loved. And in a testament to her enduring appeal and expertise, in 2021, she joined Ireland's Classic Hits Radio.
Oh, is she on Irish radio now?
Yeah, she presents the Kim Wilde 80s show 4 days a week, a perfect fit for her iconic status from that decade, allowing her to share her passion for the music that shaped her early career with a dedicated audience.
That's fantastic.
It reflects a sustained and evolving presence in media, allowing her to stay connected with her audience and share her passions, both musical and horticultural, demonstrating a career that truly transcends a single medium and speaks to her incredible adaptability.
All right, let's delve into what many might perceive as a return to pop. Though, looking closely at her journey, it feels more like a continuous evolution, doesn't it? A seamless blend of her past achievements and her present passions.
Yeah, Return doesn't quite capture it. It was more like picking up a thread again.
After her deep foray into gardening and West End theater, she started touring again in the UK from November 2001. Now, this wasn't a solo comeback tour in the traditional sense, but rather as part of the Here and Now tour.
Ah, those 80s revival tours, they were huge.
Exactly. Wildly popular. She shared the stage with other iconic artists of the era, like Paul Young, The Human League, Belinda Carlisle, Howard Jones, Five Star.
What a lineup.
It was a brilliant strategic way to ease back into performing for large audiences, wasn't it? Allowing her to reconnect with her original fan base in a nostalgic and celebratory context, setting the stage for new musical endeavors without the pressure of a solo reinvention.
It's particularly insightful how these revival tours allowed her to not only reconnect with her original loyal audience, who are obviously eager to relive the nostalgia of the 80s, but also, crucially, sparked a new wave of creativity that directly led to new recordings.
Okay, so the tours led to new music.
Seems so. In 2001, demonstrating her renewed musical vigor, she recorded Loved, a brand new track specifically for a compilation album, which surprisingly became a hit in Belgium, proving her continued international appeal.
Belgium again, strong market for her.
Always. She followed this up with Born to be Wild in 2002, a nod to classic rock. Then came a truly major hit in 2003. Any Place, Anywhere, Anytime, a captivating duet with the iconic German pop star Nina.
Nina, of 99 Luftballons fame. Wow, what a pairing.
Isn't it? And this collaboration wasn't just a novelty, it was a huge success. Became a top 10 hit in multiple European countries, Germany, Belgium, Austria, Netherlands, Switzerland.
Huge hit across Europe then.
Massively. This powerfully demonstrated her enduring cross-border appeal and her knack for successful collaborations that resonated deeply with European audiences, proving that her star power was far from diminished and that she could still create fresh, chart-topping material.
Her musical journey continued its upward trajectory, signaling a significant commitment to new music. She signed a new recording contract with EMI Germany in 2006.
Back with a major label in Germany.
This led to the release of You Came 2006, a cleverly re-recorded version of her 1988 hit, updated for a contemporary sound.
Updating a classic. Risky, but it worked.
It did. This track charted impressively, hitting the top 20 in most European countries, and remarkably, it became her biggest solo hit in Germany since her 1988 peak.
Wow. That's impressive after all that time.
The accompanying album, Never Say Never, released that same year, was a thoughtful mix of 8 brand new tracks and 5 cleverly reworked previous hits, striking that balance between nostalgia and innovation.
Smart approach. Best of both worlds.
The album charted well in Belgium, France, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany, affirming her sustained relevance. She also continued to explore new musical partnerships, collaborating with the Swedish rock band Fibes, on Run to You in 2009, which reads the Swedish Top 30. showing her willingness to experiment with different genres and artists.
A key takeaway from this period is how her career truly entered this new phase of consistent and sustained musical activity, isn't it? Demonstrating a remarkable longevity that few artists from her era achieve.
Truly.
She further cemented this by signing with Sony Music Germany in 2010. This partnership saw the release of her 11th studio album, Come Out and Play, which peaked impressively at number 10 in Germany, followed by a successful European tour in February and March 2011.
Still touring and charting well into the 2010s.
Her creativity didn't stop there. She also released Wild Winter Songbook in 2013, a festive collection of holiday tracks showcasing her versatility, and in a truly unexpected, wonderfully quirky turn.
What now?
She even recorded a Christmas single, F.U. Christmas, with the thrash metal band Lawnmower Death in 2017.
With Lawnmower Death, the thrash metal band. Seriously?
Seriously. This collaboration, featuring a pop icon with a notoriously heavy metal band, perfectly exemplifies her wonderfully quirky sense of humor and her genre-bending tendencies.
That is amazing. I love that.
But then came Here Come the Aliens in 2018, an album with a truly unique and frankly quite astonishing origin story that stands out even in her diverse discography.
Yes, this is where it gets genuinely captivating and maybe a little out of this world. Here Come the Aliens was directly inspired by an actual personal encounter with a UFO she had back in 2009.
A UFO? Really? Tell me more.
Imagine this. She was sitting peacefully in her garden one night with her husband and a friend when they noticed something incredibly odd about the sky. An eerie, profound silence descended upon them.
Really?
A quietness that felt unnatural, almost preternatural. This was followed by the appearance of a huge, incredibly bright light, far too large and luminous to be a star or a plane, that appeared from behind a cloud.
Whoa.
Naturally curious, and probably a little stunned, she walked down her lawn, trying to track the source, and what she witnessed was this light swiftly moving back and forth across the sky in an impossible, almost unnatural geometric way patterns that no conventional aircraft could produce.
Wow. That sounds intense.
She said she thought about that experience every single day for years afterward, absolutely obsessed by what she had seen. And this profound, inexplicable encounter gave her the undeniable, compelling idea for her new album. Talk about extraterrestrial inspiration.
That's certainly not your typical muse for a pop record. It's fascinating how such an unusual and deeply personal experience, like a UFO sighting, can translate so directly and powerfully into creative output, particularly in pop music.
Right.
It certainly gave Here Come the Aliens a compelling and unique narrative, setting it apart from other releases. It provided this conceptual framework that allowed her to explore themes of wonder, the unknown, perhaps even a touch of the extraordinary, making the album more than just a collection of songs.
You can hear it in the lyrics sometimes.
Yeah, they often allude to her experience, adding a layer of intrigue for listeners. In May 2021, a significant milestone occurred. She celebrated 40 years in the music industry with the release of Pop Don't Stop, Greatest Hits, a truly comprehensive box set covering her entire career up to that point, a testament to her enduring legacy.
40 years. Incredible.
And the journey continues. There's a new album, Closer, slated for release in 2025. Her longevity and consistent creative output are truly remarkable, defying the fleeting nature of pop fame and demonstrating an artist who continues to find new inspiration and new ways to express herself, proving that genuine creativity has no expiration date.
And her impact goes deep, far beyond just her own chart success. She holds a truly impressive record for being the most charted British female solo act of the 1980s.
Is that right? Most charted.
With an astounding 17 UK top 40 hit singles throughout that decade, including her popular duets. But it's not just her own music that speaks to her influence, it's how her work has resonated with and inspired other artists across various genres and even different parts of the world.
It's particularly compelling how her work has resonated with and inspired other artists, crossing genres and national borders, demonstrating a quiet but pervasive influence. Her signature song, Kids in America, in particular, has become this touchstone.
So who's covered it or cited her?
Well, Nirvana drummer Dave Grohl, for example, recorded a raw, energetic version of Kids in America back in 1991, which later appeared on a rare Foo Fighters EP.
Dave Grohl covered Kim Wilde.
Okay. A surprising testament to its enduring appeal and ability to cross into the grunge scene, highlights how a truly great pop song can transcend its original genre and audience.
Yeah, true.
American pop star Tiffany, known for her 80s covers, also recorded her own version in 2007, as did the hugely popular German Eurodance act Cascada. each bringing their own distinct interpretations to the track.
Cascada, too. Wow.
Beyond direct covers, she's been cited as a significant inspiration by diverse artists like Charlotte Hatherley, who even wrote a song about her titled Kim Wilde for her debut album, a direct homage.
A song called Kim Wilde.
Yeah. The East German punk band Feeling B also recorded a song bearing her name, highlighting her unexpected reach behind the Iron Curtain during the Cold War era.
That's fascinating.
And perhaps most poetically, French singer Laurent Voulzy famously paid tribute to her in his 1985 song Les Nuits sans Kim Wilde, which translates to The Nights Without Kim Wilde, encapsulating her profound effect on his creative world and the enduring image she projected. This global and genre-spanning inspiration truly solidifies her unique place in music history.
Perhaps one of the most surprising and incredibly poignant examples of her cultural reach is her inclusion in the globally acclaimed graphic novel Persepolis by the Iranian cartoonist Marjane Satrapi.
Ah, Persepolis, such a powerful work.
In a powerful and touching comic strip, specifically titled Kim Wilde, the main character, a young Iranian girl named Margie, living under a repressive regime, defiantly sings Kids in America in the streets of Tehran. This isn't just a song, it's a clandestine act of rebellion, a connection to Western culture, and a symbol of personal freedom amidst severe restrictions. Even more remarkably, her parents, showing their profound love and desire for their daughter to experience a sense of freedom, bravely smuggle a poster of Wilde into the city for Margie to emulate and find inspiration in.
That is incredibly moving. It speaks volumes about the power of music.
It really does. That speaks to a truly global and unexpected influence, showing how music and art can transcend not just borders and language, but also oppressive political contexts, becoming a symbol of hope and self-expression for individuals seeking connection and identity.
This truly demonstrates the universal power of music and personal icons to transcend borders and political contexts, becoming symbols of aspiration and identity for individuals. On a personal note, her life journey also includes significant milestones. She married her Tommy co-star Hal Fowler on September 1st, 1996.
Right, they met doing the show.
A partnership that marked a new personal chapter. She openly expressed her desire to have children, which she did. She gave birth to their son, Harry Tristan, on January 3rd, 1998.
The musician.
Yeah, who has now followed in the family's musical footsteps as a guitarist in the alternative rock band Wonder Horse. Their daughter, Rose Elizabeth, was born on January 13, 2000, completing their family. Her commitment to creating that nurturing environment for her children wasn't just a personal choice. It was a profound act of reinvention that paradoxically paved the way for her creative renaissance in gardening and later her musical re-engagement. While they announced their separation and subsequent divorce in 2022, her personal life, like her career, has been a journey of evolution and adaptation.
A full life, certainly.
Absolutely. Throughout her career, she's also garnered significant accolades, including the prestigious Brit Award for Best British Female Solo Artist in 1983.
The Brit Award, right.
Multiple Golden Otto Best Singer Awards in Germany, and the European Platinum Award in 1988 for selling the most records across Europe. Her entire career, from pop star to gardener and back, is a profound testament to resilience, diverse talent, and the courage to continually reinvent oneself, demonstrating that passion can truly bloom in unexpected places.
So bringing it all together then, we've journeyed through the incredible multi-hyphenate career of Kim Wilde. From definitive 80s pop icon and chart-topping sensation to an award-winning landscape gardener, a celebrated author, a beloved radio host, and back to a continuously evolving music artist with even a personal UFO sighting thrown in for good measure influencing her creative output.
You can't forget the UFO.
It's a life truly lived on her own terms.
Looking back at her journey, Kim Wilde's story isn't just about the shifting tides of pop music. It's a powerful narrative about adaptability, the courage to pursue new passions, and the profound impact of an artist who embraces every facet of their creativity.
Well said.
What's particularly insightful here, I think, is her consistent ability to not only endure the relentless demands of the entertainment industry, but to truly thrive by redefining what a successful career looks like, constantly evolving and surprising us along the way. She demonstrates that true success is often found not in sticking to one path, but in the willingness to explore every interesting detour.
Absolutely. Her life is such a masterclass in embracing diverse interests and letting them enrich your journey, rather than feeling confined by initial definitions of who you are. For you, our listener, this raises an important question, doesn't it? In a world that often encourages us to specialize and stick rigidly to one path, What can we truly learn from a career that successfully cultivated seemingly disparate passions, weaving them into such a rich and enduring legacy?
Yeah, it's a great question.
How might embracing all your varied interests, even those that seem unrelated, lead to a richer, more fulfilling life, and perhaps an even more unique and lasting impact of your own?